See? Stopper.
Anyway, so this will be a quick one. This is just for fun. There's no actual like deep logic or deep spirituality or anything like that in this video. There's no real substance to content. I guess, I don't know if you think there's substance in this.
It's a funny question. The Matrix, I always go back and forth with this, and my opinion, not that I go back and forth, but I speak on this every now and again and update the spiel a little bit every time I talk about it. Anyway, so the Matrix, my opinion, Neo never woke up. It's my opinion. My opinion there is based on the fact that, quote, outside, end quote, of the Matrix, Neo was doing things that he can do in the Matrix, right? So if you get powers by bending the rules of the Matrix, outside of the Matrix, you have no powers. It's like saying, on Earth, right, you get powers because you can breathe air. Meanwhile, you wake up in space with no helmet, but you're still doing on Earth stuff. No, you're going to choke and die because there's no air, and that's what that is. So, Neo never woke up from the Matrix. He just went another Inception. He just went another level deeper into the Matrix. My own personal opinion. Here, this is the question for you though. This is a fun one. Fun run. Here we go. Fun. Till the whatever. And the bluebirds and the hey, yay, wee-hoo. Yeah. Okay, so this is fun. This is really fun. This is hilarious to me. So, Neo's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Anderson, Neo's parents, right? They are in separate pods, plugged into the Matrix. Their physical bodies are in separate pods, plugged into a giant computer, right? This is how the Matrix goes. This is what, that's the setup. Okay, everything is happening in their minds. So it's a mental digital world that they're living in. Their minds, their mental is plugged into a digital realm, right? And I cover this thing in Samurai Rock the series. There's stuff like the virtual baby. This is that. That's funny because I didn't make the connection until a little bit later, and I was like, that's why that was so funny to me. That whole virtual baby conversation with the Melina when she gets uploaded into the New Haven thing, in that short story, the New Haven, the short stories. There's a thing about that with the doctor, with the music playlist, and all that stuff. Judy Wood, that one there. That's that thing. Hold on. So this one here, the New Haven Initiative, the integration to the short stories, the one with Judy Wood, Dr. Judy Wood. This is Temple, and that fella. This one here, this lady here, with Judy Wood. So that's the whole map of the world. Her, Judy Wood. So it's her playlist. They're in the lab and they're talking about uploading Melina, this chick here, into a digital domain. She's the first person, but like the best candidate, because she's basically like John Wick, but the Joker. The John Wick Joker. And so she's the candidate that gets, and the AI specifically kind of selects her. Like it voted for, like, I want Melina, put Melina, like, bring her. So, and because it's going through everybody's files and has information on everything. It's AI. It's a conscious AI. It's the whole, the Matrix but alive thing. So it picks Melina, and then they upload her. She passed all the tests and everything. That's what this whole thing is about. And then the whole uploading process and stuff. They noticed that was weird. Okay, so all that happening in the conversation with her comrades. I don't know if I have the pictures of the folks in here anywhere, but I know in the other one on the website. This is on Patreon here. On the main site, there's got an updated version of this short story here, even though it don't look that short. It's kind of in script form, but it's in it. That's the AI right there. There you go. That's the AI. It's a neat story. But yeah, I know you guys want to see Melina. There you go. But so when she gets uploaded, it's kind of like it reminded, there was a conversation with the doctors and scientists and stuff like that, lab techs and blah 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 blah, about the virtual baby. So back to the Matrix, back to the grill again. Neo, Mr. Anderson, his parents are in separate pods, and they're plugged into the Matrix, into the giant computer. Their minds, their brains are plugged into the computer, so that they can generate electricity to keep the computer running. Right? Okay. While they're in there, in this digital world, they meet and fall in love. It's so special and romantic, and they whatever, and have a baby, right? Maybe they hated each other's guts after a while. I don't know. They were in a trailer park or something. I don't know. One was Johnny Mnemonic, and the other one was Mrs. Constantine, and then they whatever. So, Mrs. Wick Constantine. So they ended up having a baby, little Neo Anderson, whatever his real name was. I don't know. Mr. Anderson, that kid, right? They never actually physically touched each other to have this baby. To get pregnant, they never came into physical contact with each other because their bodies are in pods. In opposite ends of the matrix or whatever, right? Wherever they are, their bodies are in pods. How did she get pregnant, for one? Right? Because, I mean, you can go like, okay, so it was artificially, done, impregnated. Or maybe everyone in the matrix are just clones. Now, here's the interesting part, and this is what the story kind of gets into here. If your mind is plugged into the computer world, right? That means it would have to have some type of soul in the body to have the individual experience to generate that much electricity. Something more than just the natural reflexes. You can have a heart beating and the brain's going to breathe and da-da-da. But to have the actual thoughts and the human experience, you need the actual soul to do that, right? Okay. So, Neo, just a thought. Just a thought. Neo is actually a clone body and a clone soul. Put into a clone body for the sake of creating more human beings. Because his parents never physically did anything. So how did he become a little baby in a pod? That's a clone. Whether you went and, did the artificial in vitro, whatever, and grew a little baby from natural organic stuff, or whether you just, grew it as in, used the actual, sperm cell and the actual egg and actually fertilized it and then incubated it and raised it. Okay. So that little baby grew up inside its own little pod in the or you just make a clone. A lot easier. Why go through all that work? You're wasting electricity doing all that insemination and blah, 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 blah. Just make a clone. So that's kind of a weird thing, man. Neo was the same as Agent Smith. Literally. He's the same as Agent Smith. Only he didn't have a physical body, Agent Smith. His physical body is the Matrix, the actual computer that everyone is plugged into. Neo's basically a flash drive, and Agent Smith is a hard drive. And they're both got the same operating system, and met up in the same world, doing the same stuff, not to fight each other with the same power, same thing. They're the same thing. But yeah, in personal opinion, Neo was a clone, right? The physical body was a clone. The mind was something developed as a program based on some algorithm from the Matrix, and the human soul part, the clone's human soul part that was put into him, right, adopted that programming, and that became him. Meanwhile, he never left the Matrix, the machine. Like him waking up in the pod, that was part of the dream inside of the Matrix. Because how are you still using the same powers in the Matrix outside of the Matrix? Like when he broke out of the pod, he's choking because there's goo everywhere, right? And they're saying that you have a hard time seeing because you've never seen light, actual light, and you never used your muscles. That was part of the Matrix. If the Matrix tells you everything, including it created your soul and your body, how do you get outside of that? What are you talking about, bro? No. Yeah, he was a clone, and he was a program, and he programmed and imprisoned a clone soul. So it's a clone body with a program, a mindset that imprisoned a clone soul, that housed a clone soul. So the clone soul, using the body, programmed to that, tuned to that frequency of mind, right, tuned to be that individual, generates electricity for the Matrix. That's all that was. Consciousness itself is the Matrix. It's funny because Matrix is like mother. I think that's what that means, mother. Vader is father. If you didn't know, Darth Vader is Dark Father. No, not the river red will not. The river bed will not run red with the blood of the Jedi and the blood of the Wookiees and the whatever. No, if you know what I'm talking about there. Yes, that's a crazy song. Crazy, you're crazy. I like you, but you're crazy. That song, I like that song, but it's crazy. And that one part, I don't mess with that one part. But the rest, that's crazy. That song's crazy. But yeah. Just an opinion on the Matrix there, and Neo's parents, and where Neo came from. How many people do you think that is? If this is a simulation, if this is the Matrix or whatever. My opinion, consciousness is the Matrix. There's no real life or death, according to me. My own opinion. There's conscious being and non-conscious being. Because if you die, but you're still conscious of that, then you ain't really dead. So were you ever really alive? Or were you just conscious of the fact that you were in a different realm, being conscious and existing in there? Like that, you just call it alive because you don't know what else to make of it. Anyway, Yeah, those questions there. Have fun with that. SamuraiRock.com, that's where the story is on the website. As far as I know. Should still be there. Still there? We still up? Still up? Yeah, we're still up. Okay. Go buy some shirts so we can pay for the website. Buy some shirts and some hats and some stuff so I can pay for the website and keep it up. Other than that, then there's the Patreon. If things get crazy, there's still Patreon. Samurai Roark, Patreon.com/Samurai Roark, this series. Gotta go and update that because it's been neglected a lot. Because I've been working on the regular main site, trying to get that going. Get it going and keep it going. So there's that. Alright, later. Whatever. Bye.